The poem is titled, the book is titled, if we make it into a book and we're going to sell it on the internet box, it is called Twitch Triggered. Along came Tom, who asked his friend George, "By God, whatever is wrong?" George could only frown, his mood most definitely down. "I'm triggered," he said. "It's a feeling I can't seem to kick from my head." Tom was puzzled. "Triggered, what's that? Is it because you're morbidly fat?" "No," George said, his friend clearly brain dead. "Being triggered is worse than being fat. It's worse by a mile. When you're triggered, you can't even smile." "Oh no," Tom screamed. "Do you think this triggering can be fixed by memes?" "No," George shook his head. "No, it can't be fixed by memes. What I really need is to cheer and laugh. Something to watch while I'm in my bubble bath." Hearing this, Tom thought long and hard, desperate for a solution that didn't make him sound like a retard. "I got it!" he shouted. All the while his trigger friend pouted. "Let's go watch some Twitch. Some good old boys like Grand Pooh Bear and Mitch." George perked right up. "A splendid idea. Let's go watch some Grand Pooh Bear and Mitch. Hell, let's spend the whole day. Let's spend the whole fucking day watching Twitch." From there they walked to Tom's house, where Tom's mother greeted them in her pink provocative blouse. "Do not disturb us," Tom demanded as he blew right past. George, however, turned for a quick peek at that ass. Couch positions ready, Tom got to work, and after a few clicks of the PS4, Twitch was up, and on the front page was some whore. The whore didn't even play video games and was dressed just like a kitten. Making thousands of dollars, she was annoyingly smitten. "This triggers me," George quickly yelled, just loud enough to be heard over the whore's donation bell. "I am so sick of this bitch. Can we please watch someone who actually deserves to be on Twitch?" Tom clicked the very first channel, and there was Mitch Flowerpower in the bottom left panel. Mitch played Mario 3 with impeccable gameplay as he sat in his room, which smelt like a giant ashtray. Out of nowhere, George became even more triggered. He snapped, "Mitch's gameplay is so damn good, but he smokes more cigarettes than a young Clint Eastwood." His patience gone, George dove for the remote, not giving two shits about Tom's vote. He changed the channel to Grand Pooh Bear. He needed him now, all bald, no hair. The Grand Pooh was crushing a level in a game called Mario Maker. With fingers so quick, one would have thought he was Faker. Pooh ducked, he jumped, he answered every chat question, but there was something about him no viewer dared to mention. On top of Pooh's head was a flat-billed hat, and what it was advertising was even worse than that. The hat read Star Wars Episode 7, a movie so awful that it would never be shown in heaven. The hat was too much. Triggered George could only scream. He then begged his friend Tom to put anything else on the screen. Tom sighed, then farted, and from Grand Pooh Bear's channel they parted. He said, "Let's watch something that can't go wrong. Let's watch my favorite robot, Dodecahedron." "Robot?" George looked at Tom, utterly confused. "Who is this Dode, and what does he do?" Out of his chair, Tom stood tall and proud, and when he described Dode, he was incredibly loud. "Dode plays Kaizo, and he is simply the best. If you played his games, you would be an absolute mess." George ushered his friend to sit. All well and good. No need to have a cow. Just show me this Dode. Show me him now. So they went to Dode's channel, where the man had just beat Kaizo 3. And under his picture, the chat cheered in unison, "God bless this PB!" George looked at Tom, and Tom looked at George. Their faces in horror, for they had just both missed the world record. Back on screen, the chat continued to praise Dode, who now smiled so bright he was probably petting his chode. Oh, woe is me, George said as he slumped over defeated. He had missed the run that he so very much needed. Without hesitation, Tom found a new channel and game, in hopes they would ease his triggered friend's pain. It was Smash Brothers, a classic duel to the death. And now that it's online, you don't have to smell your opponent's halitosis breath. George studied the streamer and knew not his face, but Tom swore he was good, the best in the whole human race. So George watched this man, the one they call Hungry Box, and Lord did he blow with the very easy Star Fox. Tired of George's insults, Tom said with a huff, "Just calm your tits and wait till he plays Jigglypuff." Jigglypuff, George let out a moan. Change it right now, or I'll watch Twitch on my iPhone. Tom turned to his triggered friend. You know, George, you are unbelievably bitter. Why can't you be like every other bitch and just take it out on Twitter? George could only grumble. I'm not on social media, and I especially don't tweet. And if there's one thing I don't want to do, it's watch Dots Are Cool play Mario with his feet. Well past triggered, he scanned over Tom's follower list, but there he saw names that would only make him more pissed. There was Truman, who always said hi and was the nicest of blokes, but the kid was disgusting and drank only Diet Coke. There was Hi-Fi to Safety, who had changed his beloved name to Slade, a decision so terrible that even the gays called it gay. There was the speedrunning legend, the one and only Arthur Blues, who played games so irrelevant you couldn't guess them after 200 clues. There was Spicy Snares, whose stream quality may very well been the absolute best. But when he got drunk, oh boy did he get fickle, swearing at followers and mouth-fucking pickles. Farther down was P. Jelly, a streamer who gave every run his best college try. But the man had played Mario for over a decade and still couldn't cape fly. After a minute of scrolling, they came to the list's very bottom, a place meant for civ art and all else that is rotten. The final name was one George did not know, but by the looks of this streamer, he was no average Joe. He said, "Tom, who is this jolly old fellow? And why, for the love of Christ, is he roasting marshmallows?" Tom recognized the Santa suit and the blonde mullet of hair, then told his friend simply, "Dude, that's fucking B Squared." Sensing the lurkers, B Squared wished them a very Merry Christmas, not giving a damn that they were in the middle of August. He then cheers them both with a hearty winter lager, but before they could thank him, he chugged 4 shots of Goldschlager. "All right, that's enough. That's enough," George said after a thunderous B Squared burp. Just watching the man had made his own liver hurt. Hopeless and still triggered, he looked to his friend, sure that he was nearing his most untimely end. Is there no one else? Are there no other streamers? There must be someone out there who will make me a believer. I'm fucking dying. Tom searched through his phone, unsure if he wanted to show George who he watched when left all alone. You see, George, there are streamers who are good, and those who are bad. There are others who play League of Legends all day, and that's really fucking sad. League of Legends. George became instantly sick, for earlier that day he had been trolled by a teammate with an incredibly small dick. Let's not talk about League. That game is undoubtedly the worst, and most of that community deserves to be in the back of a hearse. All of a sudden, Tom's phone made a sound that was plain old odd, and when he saw the notification, he knew it was a sign from God. He smiled at George. "My friend, your triggeredness is done and through, because look what just started. It's AGDQ. George gasped. "I love AGDQ. There's so much gameplay going on, one's face can turn blue. So Tom went to the channel, and George could no longer frown, for there on the couch was more nerds than circus cars had clowns. Thus ends the poem.